please.
Good morning, Chairman Owens and members of the committee. I'm sorry, I got about 20 years of dust on this, but for the record, my name is Nick Archuleta and I'm the president of North Dakota United. On behalf of our 11,500 members, I rise today to urge a do not pass recommendation on HB 1382. 1382 is plain and simply a cookie cutter voucher bill crafted somewhere outside of North Dakota and introduced here as if there is a great hue and cry for legislation whose only purpose is to derail funding for public schools. If this bill is passed, public monies will be used to pay private school tuition or homeschool expenses without the oversight and regulation that accompany these monies when they go to public schools. Making HB 1382 the law in North Dakota will certainly do more harm than good. Among our concerns about this proposed legislation is that no one knows how much it will cost. What is certain is that if an exodus from the public schools does occur, public schools will have fewer resources to meet the needs of the remaining students. Most, if not all, private schools do not have the capacity or the resources to provide an approved educational program for students with special needs. Meeting the needs of special education students can run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars per child, depending on the extent to which these students need services. It is unlikely then that the parents of these special learners will make the choice to send them to private schools or to school them at home. Those kids will remain in public schools where the resources to educate them will be diminished. This legislation is silent on the issue of who must be accepted into private schools even after they receive tuition monies provided by the state. It is perhaps instructive now to look at the states where these education savings accounts have been implemented. They tend to be the denizens in the bottom quadrant of the list of states where their residents are satisfied with the performance of their schools, their public schools, as measured by the March 10th, 2016 Gallup poll. In Nevada, 42% of the residents rate their schools as good or excellent. In Arizona, that number is 50%. In Mississippi, that number is 53%. In Florida, the number is 55%. And in Tennessee, the number skyrockets to 60%. In North Dakota, 89% of your constituents and fellow citizens rate our schools as being good or excellent. No one in the state is clamoring for this legislation to fix our public school system. Our system of public education works in North Dakota, and the people know it, and they appreciate it. Our schools are good, but they are not so good that they cannot be improved upon. That's certainly the truth. Of course, they're not perfect. But what this bill offers will only serve to weaken public schools and diminish the positive impact they have on children and communities across North Dakota. If making North Dakota schools better is a high priority for the sponsor of this bill, then I would encourage legislative support for the innovation bill that Superintendent Baszler has caused to be introduced this session. But I'll save that testimony for another day. This concludes my testimony, Mr. Chairman, and again, on behalf of the professional educators I represent across North Dakota, I urge a do not pass on HB 1382, and I'm happy to stand for any questions.